Welcome to this Rapid Revision Exam Skills Paper 1 video looking at crime and punishment. This video will look at question 1a and 1b, describe one feature. This question is worth 4 marks in total and consists of 2 parts which are each worth 2 marks. This is for the current, that is from 2025 specification. Firstly, a very brief introduction to the Pearson Edexcel Paper 1. This is a thematic study and historic environment paper consisting of 2 key sections. Section A, the historic environment, e.g. Whitechapel circa 1870 to 1900, crime policing in the inner city. That's what we're looking at in this video. And Section B, the thematic study, for example, crime and punishment in Britain circa 1000 AD to present. The total time for this paper is 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's for both sections. You'll also notice that you'll be provided with a sources booklet which you'll need to answer some of the questions. So let's get into questions 1a and 1b. Let's have a look at what the questions look like. For this question, you must answer both questions 1a and 1b before continuing on to question 2, which I'll cover in a future video. This question says, describe one feature of life in the Whitechapel workhouses. It's worth 2 marks. Here's what the mark scheme says. Award 1 mark for a valid feature identified. The second mark should be awarded for supporting information. It really is as simple as that. You should spend a maximum of around 6 minutes on this question, so that's 3 minutes per part. But in fact, you'll probably find that you don't even spend that long on this, which will provide you with a bit more time for the more challenging and longer questions later in the paper. So let's have a look at how you might go about answering this. So here's the question again. Question 1a. Describe one feature of life in the Whitechapel workhouses. Now for this first example, I'm going to give an example and then give supporting information in the form of an explanation, which would be valid. So let's have a look. One feature of the Whitechapel workhouses was that families were separated on entering. That's a valid example. This was done to make life deliberately unpleasant to deter people from entering the workhouse. So that's a mark for a relevant example and a mark for a relevant explanation. 2 marks, full marks. Not much to it, is there? Now let's have a look at question 1b. Describe one feature of the Peabody estate in Whitechapel. This time I'm going to give an example and then some supporting information in the form of additional detail. One feature of the Peabody estate was that its rents were reasonable for good housing. Rent was 1 shilling a week for a 1-room flat and 3 shillings a week for a 3-room flat. That's 1 mark for the example and 1 mark for the additional detail. Again, full marks, it's worth 2. So let's sum up our final points. 2-mark describe questions are very straightforward if you have the knowledge. You must complete both question 1a and question 1b. For each, you must give a valid example and then either supporting information or a supporting explanation. Don't overthink these questions, don't write too much, and save as much time as you can for the later, more complex questions. In theory, you've got 6 minutes to do this, but most of you will find that you get it done a lot quicker than that. So please don't write too much. That's all in this video. I hope it's been useful to you, and if it has, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.